But the Motive Racing YouTube channel is very, very difficult to hack into because you have to get a text verification from my phone. And that is not easy. Fighting for this one, despite being a...
Ooh. I forgot they were bringing that. They bring this map back.
What's that?
Why are the maps from the original Modern Warfare?
Which one?
I don't know if you played. Remember the original COD 4?
Not much.
The very first Modern Warfare in the series.
Say the map and I might know it from another game.
Well, I think it was called Silo. Like one of the multiplayer maps is when you have, you're fighting in basically a big ass missile compound.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
Uh,
One of the maps that I always think of is Airport.
oh, that was Terminal.
Terminal, yeah, that's
That
it,
was the
yeah.
Modern. That was Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, right, yeah. MW2 is the first COD I ever played, so
Ah,
I wasn't around for the first lot. First COD I ever actually owned myself was Black Ops. I was a bit late to the series.
yeah.
I know all the Black Ops maps, like, but
Mm.
yeah, before that I'm a bit there.
Oh, you bitch! Stop fucking avoiding my bullets.
Yeah, bitch.
Oh, you're a cunt. Sorry.
Oh, thanks, mate. Cheers for that. Appreciate that. Thanks. It's really kind of you. Thanks.
Whore.
Hey, stop calling me nasty names. Oh, by the way, they can hear us. Sorry, I forgot to say.
Oh, for God's sake.
Alright, here's hoping and praying that high grade joins.
Hmm.
And it's a very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are back here tonight for round 6 of season 6 here on the PlayStation 5 platform for the GT3 Championship. As you can probably tell, the very recognisable surroundings that appear on the screen at the moment are that of the Mount Panorama Circuit here at Bathurst in Australia. And we are absolutely delighted to be here. This is going to be a tricky night for all of the drivers, and it's going to be about survival here tonight. I think Iain, I've got Iain in the commentary box as always. Emo guy, welcome along, mate.
Always a pleasure to be here. Just as always, just tagging along by your side. Making sure that you just don't say anything incriminating. The usual.
So I thought you were here to make sure that I said incriminating things.
No.
Haven't you got the memo? You're supposed to get me to say incriminating things, not stop me from saying incriminating things.
Nah, my job description changed overnight.
Oh, okay. No, never mind. Yeah, sorry. He's being paid by a different. He's being paid by a different side now. But yeah. Nonetheless, we've got Jazzman currently sat atop of this leaderboard here tonight. Jazzman's had a tricky last couple of weeks here at Motive, but it's good to see him currently sat atop of the leaderboard here. 0.3 of a second is his gap, just under over Tynus in the house. These two currently well clear of everybody else at the moment. They've currently got over a second to Carl Marley, who's in third and currently sat in the pits, so he's not going to improve on that. But Totally Zero did a good job tonight, currently P4. He's been putting him some good laps over the course of tonight, and he's up there at the end of the sharp end. We've only got 17 drivers on the grid tonight. I was getting ready to absolutely let off steam at the beginning of this stream and have a complete and utter tirade about it, and I thought maybe not. Maybe I should just stay calm and just, I don't know. Iain, what do you think I should do?
Stay calm. Just let it go. Just ignore it. Just pretend everything's normal. Absolutely,
yeah. So, obviously, we're delighted to have the colossal grid of 17 tonight, which is absolutely brilliant, of course. And as we're currently watching Tynus in the house coming through the chase section right now. And, yeah, obviously, we've got Totally Zero coming into the final corner. Is he backing off? I think he is. So he's going to go for one more flying lap here. He's going to go for a wide exit so he can get as good a run onto the start-finish straight as he possibly can. So let's see over the course of the next lap what he's able to do. We've got Andrew currently P5. Guido Chris sat in 6th at the moment. Gertian 7th at the moment in this session. He's in the pits, so he's not going to improve. Lots of drivers in the pits at the moment. Tunde's gone into 8th. We've got Fierce Mars, Snoopy, Sean, Scuderia, Paul all in the pits at the moment. Dimenta, good to see him back out on track. Currently in the pits, as well as Glenn and Chris. Oh no, it's pinged me into them. But anyway, we've got Archie currently out there at the moment. He's coming through the middle part of the lap. Currently P15 at the moment is Archie, so he's got a lot of work to do in this session. But he's got this final run here to get himself maybe in the top 10 as he comes out onto the long straight which leads down towards the chase. And Iain, just to let you know that the music is quite loud. So yeah, just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to miss out on our 10p royalties that we'll get from YouTube for tonight.
Of course not.
Think of all the Freddos we could buy with them. But Archie coming into the final corner.
Even Freddos are out of our reach.
Lollipops then. Oh, Archie wide. Archie very wide there, going out the final corner. Gets it all wrong as he comes over the line, and he doesn't improve on P15, so that is that then for Archie. Who else is out there at the moment? We've got Jazzman coming into the final sector. You've got Tynus not too far behind him on the track. Totally Zero coming through in towards the chase as he takes a very wide entry there, getting as much to the left as he possibly can, flicks it in towards the chicane, and he gets that one perfectly there. A lovely chicane there from Totally Zero. Here he comes down towards the final corner. He's obviously sticking with it, so he feels that he can improve on whatever his quickest lap is, which is currently a 2:02.3. Here he comes into the final corner. Totally Zero onto the power, tagging a curve a little bit on the exit, but getting it nicely. Over the line he comes. He doesn't improve. Stays in P4, so Totally Zero can't change his lap time there. Looks like Jazzman's done for the session. Tynus coming into the final corner. Can he still pole in the dying seconds here as he comes over the line? He can't. He misses out by 0.04 of a second. Emo guy. That was a nail-bitingly close session there between Jazzman and Tynus.
Yeah, these guys have been heel to toe out throughout this season. There is no give or take between the of them. It's give it all or give it nothing with these two.
Absolutely, go hard or go home, and then we can see there it's very, very tight. These two are second clear of anybody else, so a dominant qualifying showing from these two old rivals. Carmali third ahead of Totally Zero, who line up in P4 ahead of Andrew in fifth, followed by Gita who line up in P6 ahead of Gertie in seventh, followed by Tunde in eighth, with Fierce Mars in P9. Snoopy P10 ahead of Sean in 11th, with Scooter Paul in 12th. Lol 3000 in 13th place ahead of Diamanta 14th, with Archie P15. Glenn 16th, and Chris will be rounding out the grid in 17th place here for the start of round 6 of this 15-round season here. Motive Racing for the GT3 Championship, Season 6 here on the PlayStation 5 platform. And we're just moments away. The drivers just making the final adjustments to their setups here before we go for the short formation lap, because I still don't know how to set up a ACC server. So unfortunately, we're having to settle with this short formation lap. Ideally, we'd like to have a full formation lap, but then again, who wants to sit there waiting 5 minutes for some cars to trundle around at a very, very slow speed? I know I don't.
I mean, I guess it gives the drivers a little bit more chance to prepare their tyres, but at the same time, it means that everyone's starting at equal temperatures, equal tyre degradation. Either way, it's all more equal.
Oh yeah, definitely so. I mean, the formation up, it adds a bit of sort of background, a bit of realism and ambience, I think, doesn't it? It gives it kind of adds a bit of tension to the vibe. I do like formation ups. I'm only sort of being. I like to just sort of. I was only joking. I was genuinely a joke when I said that I don't want to sit there and wait and watch them go around, because it actually does give you something to talk about. It's a good way of introducing things, and you can talk about the drivers, and it gives you a bit of time to go through stuff like the championship. It gives you a bit of background and time to sort of reflect on what you're watching. But saying that, I think that the good thing about having the way that we have it right now is that you're not waiting too long. Ultimately, everybody does their setup, and then we're ready to go. We're locked in, and we're racing. Within a couple of minutes after finishing the qualifying session. So we want to get racing. We want to get into the action, and that's what we're about to do here for tonight here at Bathurst here in the GT3 Championship. We've got Jasmine and Tynus, as we said before, lining up on the front row as usual. Can we see anybody getting the win here tonight other than these two, Emo guy?
It's definitely a hard to try and vote for anyone else, but it's Bathurst, and everyone knows that when you're at Bathurst, literally anything can happen. One small bit of your tire could be 1 pixel too close to the wall, and bang, that you could be spinning off, just absolutely destroying your car, making it a complete and utter write-off. So it is really difficult to tell, unfortunately.
Absolutely. We've got High Grade jumping in right as we're starting the race, so he'll be starting from the pits, but where can he get up to? He'll probably be about a minute or so behind the leaders, but good to see we've got 18 drivers in the session here tonight as we're racing down towards turn 2 for the first time. Jazzman leads, but Tynus is pulling out of the slipstream there, looking to the outside. They're going to be side by side here coming up towards turn 2. It might be close here between them as the cameraman's not picking them up. Here we go, we're back to the leaders now, and Tynus here is really challenging Jazzman into the braking zone. Is he going to try and go around the outside here? Jazzman's going to hug the inside line, just tugging the curve a little bit on the inside, and he holds on to that one. Tynus couldn't get it around the long way there. Carmali now trying to attack on the outside, or is that Totally Zero actually? It's Totally Zero here who's attacking on Tynus as they're coming towards turn 3, and Totally Zero has done Tynus around the outside up into second place. Incredible stuff there from him. Gita Christian 4th ahead of Tunde, followed by Fierce Mars, with Carl Marley down to 7th place from 3rd on the grid. Nightmare of a first up from him so far. Gertie in 9th ahead of Sean in P10, followed by Lol 3000 ahead of Snoopy. Scooter Paul ahead of Archie, with Chris in P15. Diamenta and Glenn have come together on this first up. Both of those two in the wall with big damage there, Iain.
Oh, it's unfortunate, but when you're racing at Bathurst, you've really got to be a lot more aware of your surroundings. You have to be a lot more cautious when you're going for moves. You just have to be overall more cautious than you ever have been before.
Conscientious, don't you?
Yeah, you've got to give a little bit more room to the driver that you're
Oh,
racing against, or else.
yeah. Sorry, I was watching Guido Chris put it in the wall there, mate. But and he's
Oh
god,
no.
he's still stuck in the wall. Jesus, he can't get it out of the wall at the moment. So that's going to give a load of drivers a free position there. So Guido Chris is down to eighth place and counting. He's continuing to drop down this order like a stone at the moment as he's now lost out to Archie, Paul, and God, who else has he dropped behind? Everyone, I think, pretty much.
Yeah.
Barring Dimentor and Glenn, who we obviously saw both of them stuck in the wall a few moments ago. But Jazzman leading by 3 seconds at the end of the first lap. The gap in qualifying between Jazzman and Tynus was nothing, but obviously Tynus has got ahead of Totally Zero. So Totally Zero got the jump on Tynus going through the first sector. Tynus has got that position back. Tynus trying to warm up his tyres. He clearly feels that they're not up to temperature. Look at this.
Oh, it's a very strange one.
Yeah.
Because
He,
also with the hill mountain, also it's very twisty, so you're giving your tires a lot of work to do. So you'd think that that would be enough to warm the tires up, but still, enough to get them to kind of a relatively close operating temperature.
Yeah, I wonder maybe whether it was a message to Totally Zero or if he was trying to make a point to him potentially. I don't know if there was a bit of a scuffle between them as he was getting past, but maybe that was what he was doing that for. But nonetheless, we see a few drivers into the pits. Fierce Mars, who is running in a decent position at the end of the first lap, is in the pits. Andrew Kido, Chris Dimensa, Tunde, and Snoopy all in the pits as well. Let's not forget there is a mandatory pit stop which can be taken at any point throughout the race. So if you see someone coming on the first lap, it's not necessarily because they've got damage or because they've got a problem. It can just be strategic, and we've seen a lot of the time if they've got a clear track ahead of them after making the pit stop, it can really pay dividends.
Yeah, well, it can and it can't. It all depends on personal circumstance. Or how much damage do you have? Do I change the tires right away? Do I do this, that, the next thing? It all really depends on what the the people that you're actually racing on track are going to have to do as well.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, it all depends on how it blends in, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
if you come in early and you come out amongst a load of traffic who are people who are going long and planning to pit at the end, that could really screw your race. So it's about kind of looking at the leaderboard and gauging where you're going to fit in and just trying to stay out of trouble. Really, that's where it is. Everyone's got to run their own race, and it's really about just. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you are at this point, does it? It's about where everyone is after their pit stops and at the checkered flag. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. You've got to pace yourself. Don't make too many decisions before you know exactly what the circumstances of the people that you're racing are. There's so many factors you've got to take into account.
Absolutely, we can see here you've got Archie all over the back of Low 3000 as they're coming up the hill in towards turn 2. You can see in the foreground there is Sean, but these guys holding position at the moment for the time being. Everything's as it was. There you can see Fierce Mars has done his pit stop. Chris is in the pits, so is Andrew, Guido, Chris and Tunde. So lots of drivers coming in here at the second time of asking here during this race. But Sean, Low 3000 and Archie still quite close. Archie really trying to pile the pressure here after not so good of a qualifying for him. He's really made some strong inroads and has kept himself out of trouble. And we said so many times, I remember this is a common theme with Archie, although maybe qualifying doesn't always go his way. In the races, you can bet that he will be there to pick up the pieces.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good to see and agrees, but he's currently really putting the pressure here on Low 3000. But Sean actually pulling away a little bit from these. Sean pulling away a little bit from these two as they're coming out onto the long straight. So looking like Sean has a bit of confidence coming through that mountain section. Not an easy part of the track to nail, but if you get it right, it feels sweet as a nut. There's been a few times where I've gone through that section pretty much balls to the wall and it's worked, and I thought, oh, that was just amazing.
Yeah, it really does give you a really massive sense of self-satisfaction when you're able to complete a lap at Bathurst completely flawlessly. It just It's quite a hard one to describe on how satisfying it really is.
Yeah, because I mean, there's been plenty of situations. I mean, I'm talking about project cars too, but I'm sure it's the same on ACC. You get to the chase and you've nailed the mountain section, then you get into that chicane, and then you end up messing up the chicane and getting your lap invalidated. I mean, that is such a painful experience because
Streams went off.
you've done the hard bit. The stream's gone off.
Yeah, the mass stream. As
Yeah.
in the PlayStation stream.
Oh, the share screen.
Yeah, it's went off.
Ah, one second, wait. What did you just say? You lost connection.
Yeah, it just went black, then closed the window.
Okay. That's back up.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're currently watching this battle still raging on here between Lol 3000 and Archie. We can see Paul in the pits, so is Chris, so is Tunde as well. So a few more drivers now coming in to make their mandatories. I think Tunde's been in there for quite a while. So he's now finally back out on the track. Chris is now off and away. Half of the grid have already been in for their mandatory pit stops here tonight. It's been pit stops galore here in the first few laps. Mandatory pit stops here tonight. It's been. So I just heard myself talking there, but got a few comments coming in. Apologies for not getting back to the comments here tonight. Been a bit of a chaotic start, but Joseph Adams says good luck everyone and to the boys. High grade saying trying to get home. High grade just managed to get in, but started a bit late, and I think it's about a lap down than everybody else. Joseph Adams says hey Mick, good luck all. Says Chris, hi Andy and Emo guy, hello Totally Zero. Joseph says good luck lads. What Mickford says, top of the hill, you all need to relax to be honest. Also says hi to Joseph. And what Mickford says, Glenn, you can't park there. Of course you can. You
can't park there, sir.
You can't park there, sir. Oh man. Hope you get better soon, Mick, says Joseph.
Meme.
Oh, it is. It's brilliant, and it's. I mean, my favourite one is the one where the police car has crashed into a wall, and he's knocked the wall down.
Yeah.
And someone goes to the police officer. He goes, "Oh, you can't park there, sir." And his response is, "Of course I can. I'm a police officer." That's one of my favourite clips. But currently, Jazzman is still pulling away from Tynus here. Look at this here, and he's got the pace over Tynus tonight. Jazzman. I mean, he must be out there with a vengeance right now. He's had a tricky start to the season, but he appears to be in a league of his own at the moment.
Well, I think he's probably just pushing to try and get that gap, but we've seen these two. One point Jazzman's faster, and then next minute he's either just as fast or even faster than Jazzman, and it just goes back and forth. So at this point, it does seem a bit early to tell exactly what's going to be going on and what strategies they're going for.
Definitely, it could, like you say, it could be Jazzman on a half tank and Tynus on a full tank. In which case, this pace would probably be quite representative of what you would expect in such a situation, especially around a track like this, where a high fuel load is going to make quite a considerable difference to your lap time, and a detrimental one at that. But you can see, on average, about 1.2 or 1.25 seconds a lap at the moment is Jazzman's advantage, or maybe about a second, because obviously they're coming towards the end of lap 5 and the gap's 5 seconds. So yeah, about a second I'd say on the money. But yeah, Jazzman just seems to have a lot of confidence around this circuit. Let's hope for Tynus' sake that he is running a full tank and that we will see a bit of a switched up later in the race in terms of momentum, obviously, because we want to see a fight for this win. And at the moment, it's looking like we're not really getting one. As Archie has done Lol 3000 up into P6. That looks like that's job done there for him.
Yeah, also he might have done it down the back straight down towards the chase, so I'll just go to Archie for that one. I know the Ferrari's quite decent straight line speed compared to the Audi nowadays, because the Audi used to be a lot faster than what it is now, but that Ferrari it must have the legs on it.
Definitely so. That BOP for the Ferrari definitely paying dividends. But we can see that Fierce Mars is on the back of Glenn. Glenn's still yet to pit. Fierce Mars is the highest runner. In fact, he's done him. He's well ahead of him. Look, it says on the timing board that he's 6/10 behind. He's about 2 seconds ahead with my naked eye. There we go.
Wow.
So Glenn must have made a mistake there. I think coming through the mountain section, you can see at the front end of the car, he's taken a bit of a battering as he just comes into the chicane there. So something's gone a little bit wrong. Oh, bit of a slide there from Glenn. Maybe struggling with the damage potentially. That could be the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, it definitely seems like he has got some kind of damage. He's probably touched the wall because even a small touch to the wall. Even a small touch to the wall when you're going through the mountain, it can do just as much damage as if you hit it straight on. So, and plus these Audis, they're quite fragile compared to the rest of the cars. So it's definitely done something to maybe the front suspension that's making it a lot more squirrely and a lot more loose.
Yeah, it does appear to be bouncing a little bit at the front, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems to be hitting the floor a little bit when it's, especially when it's braking. It doesn't seem to be too stable. So maybe Glenn might be in the pits to get that fixed a bit prematurely here in this race. He's clearly got a strategy which he's trying to stick to at the moment, but for how much longer is he going to be able to stay on that path that he's set himself in this race? Scooter Paul and Andrew only a second apart in that battle for P12 at the moment. Gap between Jazzman and Tynus isn't going up by as much as it was. It's up at 5.3, so Jazzman only gained another couple of tenths on that last lap. So maybe Tynus starting to get into a
he's only
groove.
good too.
Yeah, I think Tynus maybe getting into a bit of a groove here, maybe starting to get more confident as he's just about to put a lap on one of the back markers, which I think is that it's Andrew, is it?
Glenn.
No, it's not Glenn. Sorry, mate. Yeah. Oh, Glenn in the yeah. It is, yeah. Yeah, it is Glenn.
No, it's not.
No,
No,
it's not.
no, it's not. It'll be Chris. Or
Chris.
yeah, it'll be Chris. Or Low 3000.
Oh, yeah, it's an Audi. Yeah, yeah. No.
I think it was Chris.
Yeah. Was it?
I really cannot tell. I know it was that. I was at Audi. That it was because he's just coming down that section.
Yeah, it was Chris. Yeah, yeah. So Tynus now well clear of him and continuing to set out after Jazzman here. The gap's still just over 5 seconds at the moment. And what Wickford says, Glenn has patience. He will grab places where he needs to. Well, currently he's running P10 at the moment, is Glenn. So it's been a solid job from him so far, but he is still yet to make his pit stop. But he's got several drivers behind him who are also still yet to pit. That includes Chris, Highgrade, Tunde, and Snoopy. So that gives him a little bit of confidence, I'm sure, that he can hold position where he is at this particular point in the race. As Jazzman's about to put a lap on one of the back markers there, who gets well out of the way. And that back marker was
No.
Andrew was one of them.
Scooter Paul.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Gets really confusing when you're 8 laps into a race and you've got lapped cars everywhere.
Yeah. Well, look at Snoopy. He's 3 laps down already.
It's the nature of the track. That's what it is.
Yeah, it really is. It scares a lot of people, and that fear can force you into more mistakes. I've learned at this track because you are so on the limit. You can't with the right setup. You can be on the throttle 100% of the time through the mountain section, unless you're apart from obviously coming down. But the entire pretty much going up and for the pretty much the 99% of the entire top of it, you can be on throttle 100% of the time.
That's the thing. Around Bathurst in qualifying, I found that I was pushing like crazy. And if you manage to go 100% around a full lap at Bathurst, like we were saying earlier, if you manage to do it, it feels unbelievably satisfying. But in the races where you've got, I mean, for example, at Simplay, 15 or so laps, or in a race like this, probably about 30 laps over an hour, you cannot, I don't think you can afford to push flat out every single lap, because you will make a mistake at some point. The odds are against you. You simply have to just dial it down a little bit. You can't be at 100%. You've got to be at about 90. Because if you push at 100% lap after lap, it's inevitable. You're going to end up in the barriers. It's just how it is. in my
Well,
opinion.
unless you are some kind of gods that can predict these kind of things that are going to happen, and you can, do your damnedest to avoid it,
But
then
even if
you're
you are a
definitely a
god, you're
god.
still
But
living in a human body.
well, yeah, exactly.
But anyway, Jazzman's just coming up to. Oh, actually, Tinus is just about to put a lap here on the Ferrari of Andrew, I do believe it is. So you can see Andrew, he's not had the race so far, but P12, it feels weird to be seeing a driver who's in P12, 2 laps down on the leaders, about to be lapped on lap 9 of a race. I still can't get my head around this. It's been a chaotic race so far. I think that goes without saying.
Yeah, it does throw you off, and it really does confuse you. So it does. It's it's hard to understand how it could happen so fast. We're only 8 laps into this hour-long race. And yeah, there are areas that we've already got, God knows how many people, or well, at least I can see, up to P14 is already 3 laps down.
Yep. And everyone from P9 downwards is at least 1 lap down.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, yeah, we're literally not even a third of the way into the race. It shows the pace of Jazzman and Tynus, but it shows that how chaotic it has been so far. It wasn't the cleanest of first laps, and I think that's really set the tone. Unfortunately, it usually does, especially when you haven't got much space to work with. When everybody's so clustered up together on that first lap. Carl Marley, in the meantime, is in the pits here at the end of lap 8, so he's come in for a fresh set of boots, I think, because he's been in there for a long time, or maybe he's getting some damage fixed. That could also be the case. I mean, he wouldn't really
Yeah,
benefit that much from a tyre change at this point, because he's still got to do most of the race on them. The best place to come in for tyres is
yeah.
obviously, as I always say, the mid part of the race.
Well, personally, I would have waited until at least half an hour, 25 minutes left before I went in for the tyres, because, like you said, at this point, there's absolutely zero benefit to coming in to change those tyres when you're not
Minimal.
even 20 minutes into the race.
Yeah, definitely. So I think he's damaged because you can see Carl Marley, he's been sat there now for probably at least a minute. So I think he's getting comfortable there. I think he might be. They might need to bring him a cushion in a second.
Yeah, a blanket and a pillow, I would say. Maybe some warm milk and cookies.
Does someone need to read a bedtime story maybe as well?
Oh, apparently so, yeah. Or just rev the engine and the tune of our lullaby.
Wake up! No! Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got Jazzman still leading the race right now. He's 7 seconds clear of Tynus, so normal service resume. I said a couple of laps ago, Tynus had just stopped Jazzman from pulling away quite as much as he was. That's now gone out of the window completely. Jazzman is completely and utterly annihilating Tynus at this particular stage in the race. Pulling away by, on average, about half a second to a second a lap over him at this point. Carmali's still sat in the box, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. It wouldn't appear to be the case. As we see Tynus putting a lap there on... That is Glenn, isn't it? Yeah, it is, yep. The Chronicles of Glenn tonight. As Tynus moves through up into some clean air. And I believe it's Andrew behind him. It is, indeed. Yeah, so 2 similar liveries, but one's an Audi and one's a Ferrari. And they're currently running about a couple of seconds apart, but Glenn is a lap ahead of Andrew. Interesting stat. Carmard is still in the box at the moment. Doesn't appear to be readying himself for a venture forth out of the pit lane.
Right, here's some fun facts for you about Mount Panorama if you wish to hear them.
I would love to.
Well, this is probably a more commonly known one, but Mount Panorama is actually a public road. So anyone, there is no boundaries, there is no private land. That anybody can go, even on a non-race day,
Are
you can
are
go
you
to Mount
telling
Panorama and walk around it.
Are you telling me that Karen can just, who's on her way to drop her kids off, can just come on the track right now?
Yeah,
Right now?
Yeah, it's a public road.
Right, so right now,
Yes,
so
you
she
could
can just
fly on a,
venture forth.
you could walk on a,
He's saying she can venture forth
you
out
could,
on the
you
track,
could,
and whilst Jazzman and Tynus are fighting over the lead.
yeah. Well, I was like, no, I wouldn't say that, but like on like non-race days,
Yeah, yeah.
it is considered a public, it is considered a public road. So you know, on a non-race day, you could jump on a plane from London to Australia and walk right around the Mount Panorama Circuit without a problem.
Is it purpose built?
Yeah.
But so anybody can go there at any time ever.
Yes.
Blimey. But it is purpose built, so it's not like been developed into a racetrack. Because obviously you can tell because it's clearly a racetrack. But are any parts of it like a route or like
No.
it's not part of a route or anything? So it's just its own road.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I was gonna say I'm not sure if I'm surprised about the idea of it being part of a route because obviously the fact that it goes up a mountain would suggest that it might, be part of a much bigger picture. But yeah, I guess it makes perfect sense because it's quite a historic venue and it's very iconic as well. And I'm sure that a lot of people would like the opportunity to race on it. And yeah, it just seems like an obvious venue where people I think would come to challenge themselves. Saying that though, I mean, there's probably a lot of people binning it up the mountain section. A lot of random people must crash
Yeah.
it up there sometimes. Although, when you say it's a public road, do you
The
mean
next,
it goes both ways, or can you only go in the direction of the track? Like,
I think you can only go the one way.
oh, okay, that's probably good.
Yeah. The next fun fact is that the first motorcycle race was actually held on Easter Saturday, 16th of April 1938.
Oh wow, I didn't know
The,
that.
sa- the yeah, the same year that the track opened.
Emo guy's
Well,
pulling out.
the same month actually.
Emo guy's pulling out some absolute belters here tonight. Easter Saturday, 1938. That was the first motorcycle. When was the first car race?
Was conducted 18th of April, so literally 2 days later.
And when was the F1's never been to Bathurst, which is weird. Although,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know. Is it a Grade A FIA venue, or is it? I might not be
Uh,
actually. Is it? I think it might be a Grade B or Grade 2, whatever it's called.
I'll tell you in a second.
I don't think it's Grade 1. I think it might be Grade 2. I think it's the mountain section. I don't think would be good for Formula cars.
Well, you saw we've now saw two Formula One cars go up the mountain, so it is. Oh, right there. Oh, yeah. The main reason that Mount Panorama can't host an F1 race is because of how much runoff it is and how steep it all is and everything. Because also when you're coming down the mountain, it is a pretty like when you go from straight, a level ground to come, pretty much going straight down.
But so we got Seb in the comments here. It says motive F1's never been to Bathurst because they would die. It's not Grade A, nowhere near. There are no tyre barriers. It's not safe enough, guys. That's the main reason. Yeah, basically what you said here, pretty much.
Yeah.
I just said Seb, obviously, without even considering the fact that he's commenting on the Baseports accounts. Welcome to Baseports. Good to see you guys. Baseports. We're still. One day we will collab. I'm telling you that now. Me and Seb have spoken about it so many times. One day we will work together on something, some kind of project. We've spoken about doing iRacing and F1, but yeah. For those of you who don't know, me and the founder of Baseports, we used to commentate on Motive back when Motive started. Um, yeah, little known fact for those of you who are relatively new here at Motive, but that is actually the case. And Mike, we got Mike from Project Cars 2, our 7-time champion on Project Cars 2, says Bathurst, lovely track, good luck commentating, and good luck to the drivers, he says. Thank you very much, Mike.
Yes, I remember you said. Shut up.
No surprise
Yeah,
seeing Jazz and
one
Tynus
more,
up front, says Brandon. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
one more. I'm going to give you 3 more facts. The circuit total length is 6.2 kilometers.
Oh, that's nearly as long as
Length of the
Spa.
Conrod Straight, which is the straight that takes you down towards the chase, is 1.9 kilometers.
Whew.
And the length of the mountain straight, which is the straight after turn 1, is 1.1 kilometers.
Those are some very, very long straights, and obviously you carry a fair bit of speed down that hill as well, and the fact that it's downhill means you hit very high speeds going into the chase. And it's a tricky corner, that, isn't it, Ian? I've got to say, that chicane after the chase, when you're turning as well, it can get treacherous. I mean, we've driven this track in the wet before. It's a whole different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah, it only takes you no, a couple of seconds. Well, not even, probably like half a second after you pass your initial braking point. If you miss that, then that is you. You're going into that gravel, or you're going into the person that's in front of you.
And that's obviously painful on a qualifying. It's actually, I prefer making mistakes in that section in the race, because if you do it in the race, you can just go straight on over the grass and probably only lose about a second or two. As long as you're ready for it. If you feel yourself losing it and you catch it quickly, you can just sort of straighten it up, cut over the grass, force yourself to lose the time that you gain, and then sort of carry on. But
Yeah.
you obviously have to be quite quick. You have to catch yourself quite quickly. But yeah, it's possible to not really actually lose out too badly from that. But obviously, if you've got somebody in front of you, that's also very different as well. Because obviously then you're taking them with you onto the grass, and generally you pick up damage as well, and massively screw both of you over. As we can see, a couple of more drivers in the pits here at the end of lap 14. Sean in the pits, so is Scooter Red Paul and Tunde. So, yeah, what other facts are there to ask about Bathurst? Oh, what's the lap record here?
Lap record.